In 2018, I put down $10,000 on a food truck. Fast forward 2022, my company Slutty Vegan is now valued at $100 million. And this is how I did it. Hey, what's up? It's Pinky, co-founder and CEO of the world-famous Slutty Vegan ATL. Slutty Vegan ATL is a plant-based burger joint based in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia. What I tell people is that Slutty Vegan is a marketing company first. We build lifestyle first, and then we sell you burgers, pies, and fries. So one day I was in my bedroom and I was sitting there and Slutty Vegan hit me like a light bulb. This is different. Like, nobody associates veganism with being slutty. And I got in the kitchen. I started creating recipes all from a name. I knew that if I created something raunchy and racy and something to spark dialogue and make people ask questions, I knew that I would have a hot concept. And that's exactly what happened. One of my first investments in Slutty Vegan, I put $10,000 on a food truck when I got kicked out of the shared facility. So how it happened, I started in the prep kitchen. The first week I had about 4 people. The second week I had about 30. And in the next couple of weeks, I had hundreds of people lining up outside of this prep kitchen to patronize my business. The owners of the facility that I was in told me like, okay, all right, you got a really great viable business, but it's disrupting the other tenants in the business, so you gotta go. I had to get a food truck. I've never been on a food truck. I've never sold anything out of a food truck, but I knew that if I fell off with the momentum, I was going to lose the dynamic of my business. So I went to a kitchen restaurant equipment shop and they sold food trucks. In total, it cost me $45,000. Every single week, I had to pay money to be able to get the title of the food truck. And do you know that I paid that food truck off in a month? And now I have 4 food trucks, 7 locations, and on my way to building multiple locations, all because I didn't stop on my momentum when I got kicked out of that facility. I can remember every single day I would put an Instagram flyer up on social media and I would say, I'm on the east side today, I'm on the west side tomorrow. And I literally would have at least 300 people standing outside with umbrellas, with their lawn chairs, with their children, standing outside for hours waiting to patronize my business. And that's when I started to see a return on my investment. My first year in business, I made $4 million as a rookie entrepreneur that half the time didn't know what I was doing. Sometimes I still don't know what I'm doing in business, but the first year to be able to make $4 million, not knowing anything about SOPs, not knowing anything about food costs, I was just making money, making a lot of money in a short amount of time. And yes, did I have moments where it got super hard? Absolutely. I was working 7 days a week. I would work my day job in the morning, and when I got off at 5 o'clock, I would come and I would work the food truck. So I literally was the janitor. I was the fry shaker. I was the burger flipper. I was HR. I was halfway the accountant. I was the legal team. I was all of these things in the beginning because I was so committed to growing my business. And as I continued to make more money, I was able to bring in more people who had the expertise to help me grow. After I made my first $4 million, no, I did not celebrate. Like, when I tell you that I'm a hustler to the day that I die, I said, in order for me to take the business where I want to take this business, I gotta reinvest my money. So I put myself on payroll. So I'm an employee of my company. I pay myself every single week and I budget my money. Yes, I make a lot of money. Yes, I'm wealthy, I do very well. But at the end of the day, I'm very frugal with my money because I know here today, gone tomorrow. So I get to celebrate every day when I wake up and see that I got the hottest concept in the city and in the country. That's my form of celebration. But one day I will be able to celebrate in the way that I want to. But right now I got work to do. My next investment was buying my first brick and mortar with Slutty Vegan. It was so divine that that restaurant was supposed to be for me because every time I reached out to somebody in the city, nobody would give me an opportunity. They told me that veganism is not cool enough, it's trendy, it's not going to last long. So when this opportunity came to do the restaurant, I sat with the landlord and he asked me, well, why should I give you a chance? And I told him all the reasons why my concept works. I've proven it. I got people lined up to come support me. So he gave me a lease for $1,200 a month in 2019. So before Slutty Vegan, I actually had my dream job. I was a television producer for The Maury Show. and a casting director for the OWN Network and a whole bunch of other shows, but I did TV really well. You know, in TV, people want to see information that's going to make them pay attention. And I did that same exact thing with my restaurant concept. From my marketing side, I do 3 things. I make people laugh, I make people proud, and I give them information. If I got you laughing, you paying attention. If I'm making you proud, you're talking about me. And if I'm sharing information that you can use, I know that you'll disseminate that information to other people. I have had every celebrity that you can think of come to Slutty Vegan. Tyler Perry, Colin Kaepernick, Taraji P. Henson, India Arie, the mayors of Atlanta, politicians. They come and they eat the food and put it on their Instagram and tell their friends about Slutty Vegan. And it allows me to be able to expand my platform because they supported me in a natural way. We have not paid for marketing in this business because we get organic people who love the business, and celebrities have been my biggest golden ticket because they love the brand so much. So a lot of people ask me about what advice would I give to entrepreneurs, especially if they want to be in this space. So, I got a whole list of advice. And this advice is what I learned from the mistakes that I made in business, which really I don't even consider mistakes because it allowed me to become smarter and tell people who are watching this what to do and what not to do. The first 2 pieces of information that you need to make sure that you have when you're starting a business is have an accountant and have a lawyer. Your accountant is like your Batman and your lawyer is your Spider-Man. These are the people that are going to work on your behalf to make sure your business is protected. If you want to open up a restaurant, you got to make sure that you got a menu that makes sense. There is something called information overload. If people see too much information, they're overloaded with it. They don't want to see all that. So make sure that you have about 6 to 7 items on your menu, tops, and make them very simple so that people can have the ability to be able to choose and eat their food and not think about what they want to order. Overhead is very expensive in the restaurant industry. If you want to own a restaurant and you want to operate one, you have to make sure that your labor costs are low. You got to make sure that your food costs are also low. If you don't have a line down the block, you don't need 30 people in the building working in a restaurant. I had to learn that the hard way. If you have too many employees in the restaurant, when it's time to get your bottom line, you won't see none. You have to make sure that you are being mindful of the revenue that's coming in and the labor that is going out. Lastly, when you have a restaurant, customer service is the most important ingredient to being successful. I don't care what you say. If the customer is not happy, they will not patronize your business. One thing better than a new customer is a returning customer. And I love returning customers because that means that they had a good experience the first time. And how they get the good experience is making sure that your restaurant is clean, making sure that the food quality is good, making sure that they get white glove service. Those are the necessities to make sure that you have a successful business, a successful restaurant. And I could go on and on and on, but these are the main key ingredients. My next big money move was when I graced the cover of QSR magazine. It is the top of the trade magazines for restaurants. And to be able to grace the cover of that magazine at such an early stage in my business made me feel like I was on top of the world. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm on the cover of QSR magazine. It's like the Forbes for food. Before I got on QSR magazine, business was popping. We still had a lot of people. We had lines down the block. So we went from 300 to 500. We went from being a local Atlanta favorite to being a national favorite after we graced the cover of QSR magazine. So the power of being on big publications was so beneficial for my business because the more people started talking about Slutty Vegan, the longer the lines got, the more people started coming. And what I realized is I had a gym. And this is bigger than food. In the process of me growing my business, I ended up not having 1 kid, but I ended up having 2 children. Now, my mission is different. I went from just being a regular entrepreneur growing this business to being a mompreneur. So I'm showing women around the world that you can be a wife, you can be a partner, you can be a daughter, you can be a mother, and you can be a CEO and still make it look damn good because I get to do it every single day. I am building a movement that people want to be a part of. So when you talk about motivation, yeah, I got tired a lot of the times, but I knew what the end goal was. And my end goal, and still my end goal, is to create generational wealth for my family, to create a pathway of entrepreneurship for myself and for the people who look up to me. My last big move, well, actually, it's not my last big move, okay? Because I got a whole bunch of steps that's going to take me to the B, because I always say that Slutty Vegan will be a billion-dollar company. But my next move, which we consider my last move for now, is raising $25 million for my small-owned, Black-owned business. Now my company is worth $100 million because I did a raise and got an injection of capital to be able to scale my business. And what's even better is that I get to do it with my two investors, Danny Meyer and Richie Lou Dennis. Danny Meyer created the world famous Shake Shack, which is now a billion-dollar company. And Richie Lou Dennis is the owner and CEO of Essence Magazine, Essence Festival. And I'm excited to professionally work with them because I got some heavy hitters on my team. A lot of people don't realize that historically, it was always very difficult for Black women to raise money, for minorities in general, Black and brown people to raise money. So to be able to raise this level of capital for my business to grow it and be valued at $100 million, that is a big deal. My best money tip is something that I learned from a great philosopher. His name is Meek Mill. And the line is, scared money don't make no money. It's my favorite money tip because what I learned in business is that 10% of a watermelon is better than 100% of a grape. People are afraid to take risks. And if you want to be successful in business, and I'm not just talking about money, I'm talking about impact. I'm talking about building an ecosystem. I'm talking about providing resources. You can't be afraid. You gotta step in the room and own the room, every room that you walk in. You gotta be able to make sound decisions that scare the hell out of you because making those decisions will take your business to the next level. You can't wait for people to give you opportunities. You gotta go and grab those opportunities by the horn. So when you ask me what my money tip is don't be afraid. So if you wanna grow your business, you got work to do. And as long as you got work to do, you need to reinvest your money, put your money in your business, and understand that scared money don't make no money. And that's a wrap on my millionaire moves with Glamour. I'm Pinky Cole.